Coming to you again. This is your brother Kwame Africa, reaching you from my channel. I have been working on the minds and appealing to the minds of all people across religion, languages, race, and culture. That we have come to a point where we have evolved to a point where human beings have to come to the realization that the channel to peace is about suspension of all religious book. It's about self-centered, egoic agendas of self or religious color supremacy. Yes, there are a lot of people who believe in racial hierarchy or supremacy in one's own race. But at the end of the day, supremacy in one's own race is not doing us any good. Yes, it's not doing us any good. Look at it. In recent time, in the United States of America, there has been pulling down of almost all the KKK statue which speak racism. This is good direction. This is really a good direction for human race. This is good for humanity. I want us to follow humanity over self-centered, egoic agenda of racial supremacy. Arabs want to be the supremos. The Europeans want to be the supremos. The black people want to be the supremos. Who do you want to enslave? And why do you think, if you are able to enslave me, if you treat me unfairly, if you continue to treat me unjustly, what makes you think the freedom you are looking for, you will get it? No. You see, there is a saying that when people's freedom and fundamental human rights have been trampled upon for a very long time, their anger will erupt like a volcanic eruption. You understand? So I have studied a lot, I have read a lot of books extensively, and I have realized that all the dividers are looking for peace. None of them is looking for war. But people are thinking that they have the capability of convincing a group of people to abandon their belief system and follow a certain belief system, then thereby making the whole world a united form of religion. So there will be peace. But I'm telling you, it is going to be a tall order. We cannot even achieve it. Today, as we are speaking now, Chinese are pulling down temples. They are pulling down or any other thing apart from whatever the Chinese believe in. Yes, the Chinese are using the Dhammapada, or they are using their holy book, which is known as the Dhammapada. They are not in love with the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, the Sanskrit, and other stuffs, you know. So at the end of the day, we have to come to the realization that we are all one people. We are coming from one source. If we are really coming from one source, one God, then we have to understand each other. That okay, you are believing in the Quran, you are believing in the Holy Bible, you are believing in the Sanskrit and the Torah and other stuffs. But once we come together, we have to love each other. Other than that, I can tell you there are a lot of things in the Bible that doesn't make sense. There are a lot of things in the Quran that doesn't make sense. There are a lot of things in the Torah that doesn't make sense at all. And there are a lot of things in the other religions, with the Bhagavad Gita, the Dhammapada, the Torah, the Sanskrit. There are a lot of things that doesn't make sense. But at the end of the day, whether it makes sense or not, this is the way people have chose to go. Let's respect individual differences and come together and have peaceful coexistence, so that at the end of the day, humanity will be the winner. Today you go to China, there are a certain group of people in China who are in prison We call them the Uyghurs. If you go to if you move from China, you come to a place like Iran, there are a lot of there is a serious segregation going on there against the Kurds. The Kurds cut across the entire scope of the Arab world. The Kurds. If you go to Iran, we have Kurds. If you go to Iraq, we have Kurds. If you come to Turkey, we have Kurds. If you go to Syria, we have Kurds. But these Kurds Kurds, these people have been seen as minority and foreigners. Meanwhile, these are people who are claiming to be the indigenous owners of the land. But at the end of the day, they have been subjected to perpetual torture and segregation, which is really not auguring for us. If you go to India, we have the caste system, where there is an arrangement of importance to the extent that there are people at the bottom of the ladder which have been trampled upon. Ask yourself, the people you are subjected to perpetual torture and you are subjecting them to you have relegated them to inhumane treatment. How do you think they can give you the peaceful coexistence that you need? At a point in time, you'll be having insurgents and you'll be having some kind of recalcitrant who will be coming out from them and be rebelling against you. That is why I am telling you that at a point in time, the whole world peace was disrupted by a group of people with a particular agenda. And that agenda, we have come of age, we have evolved, we have become a mystical human beings, we have evolved, we have gone through a lot of evolutions, and now we have become a mystical human. Look at everything around you, apart from the trees and even trees. We have been able to torture the trees, we have been able to torture the natural genes of trees to bring out fruit of our choice. Today, there are coconut trees behind me. I can show you clearly that if God, who created the world from the beginning, if you should come and look at it today, you will see a different coconut altogether. We are coming out with a lot of innovations, but what are we really doing when it comes to humanity? This is what we must think about, because if humanity is not happy, if humanity is not free, I'm telling you honestly, all our innovations and civilization we talk about will become verbose and useless, and something that it will become like we are just building a castle in the sand, which will be washed away whenever there is a storm. No. When we believe that we have evolved, civilization has gotten to a stage where we can do things in a magnificent way, then we must also attack humanity in a certain way that at least we can cut the segregation, the divisions, the torture, the religious wars and the differences. We can reduce it to its minimal level, so that human beings there can be peaceful coexistence. Today, there are people with cutlass and knives standing somewhere that they are killing in the name of Allah. There are people somewhere killing in the name of Buddha. There are people somewhere killing in the name of something else. Today, look at what is happening in the Middle East. Look at that. Look at what is happening in the Palestine. There are a lot of maiming. People have lost their limbs. People have lost their hands. People have lost their organs, their human parts, simply because of war. What are we really fighting for? What are we really fighting for? What are we really fighting for? We really have to follow the principles of nature and understand that if trees and animals can live in peaceful coexistence, then what about we, human beings? With our mindset, we cannot live in peace. We are always attacking each other on color. We are attacking each other on religious grounds. We are attacking each other on monetary grounds. We are attacking each other. We are always subjecting each other according to the might of how they can resist the attack we are putting on them. Yes, the black man today is being subjected to financial torture from the Western world. Anytime our president go to the foreign parliament, they come out with nice submissions telling the Western world that their condition is subject to their actions. Even though I know our leaders are evil, they are stealers, they are thieves, they are corrupt. But at the end of the day, the Western world is contributing about 80% of Africa or 80% of the world's problem. They can come down from that mountain that they have climbed, thinking they can rule the world and subject other races to perpetual torture. It can't work. They've done that to China. Today, China can compete with any superpower in the world. They have done that to India. Today, India has a biological missile. They are becoming a force to reckon with. Pakistan and India used to be one. They have separated them. Today, one part is Muslim, one part is Buddhist, one part is this and that, and there is a fighting between India and Pakistan because of Kashmir. At the end of the day, these are brothers. They are come from one race. They are one race. They are one people. At the end of the day, I want to tell you that these differences, if we are not, we have to sit down at the United Nations Secretary General Assembly and think and revisit the drawing board and come to the total conclusion that at a point in time, a group of people became greedy and they decided to use certain sentiments against certain people so that they can get what they want to get out of it. But at the end of the day, it is not helping us. We have evolved and we have become civilized human beings. As a matter of fact, we have become gods. So we have decided to move away from those uncivilized and inhumane treatment of each other and fighting against all other races and move and live as one race, one people. I will never preach racism. I will never support racism in any form or kind. But dignity and pride in one's own race. With God really blessing, I leave you for a while. One love.